The art of creating connection. In my personal opinion, there are 4 tips in how to effectively create connection. And it's because I've went the majority of my life trying to strategize relationships. So, the 4 tips include strategizing doesn't work, so don't do it. The second is be a learner versus a knower, agreements versus expectations, and speak your truth, even if you are uncertain. So, strategizing relationships. Why does it not work? Because you can't. And the way I strategize is I like to use a lot of books to do this. And what I've learned is it doesn't work. Connecting and relationships is an in-out experience on multiple depths, right? And so no matter how aware you are of something that you're either doing or your partner is doing, without speaking and connecting and working through it, it's not going to help or work. You can't just always internally be putting other words of wisdom and strategies and people's advice and relationship coaching. Like, you can't keep putting it in. At some point, you have to have something come out. Ways that people strategize this, right? You meet a person that you really like, but you have these rules around sex isn't until 6 months. You'll meet my parents at 1 month. We'll have an engagement at 2.5 years, and then maybe be having kids by 4 years. This is a timeline. This is a strategy. Other ways that people do this is if you are already in a committed partnership. If I make X, it will make up for Y. If I'm nice or polite, I'll get to blank. If he or she does X, it means that Y is expected of me. If I buy or do X, then I'll get Y. These are all like manipulative, expectational and assumptions that happen within us that directly form a line of disconnect with truly understanding, honoring, and knowing the person we are in a relationship with. We're just going off all these stories or these assumptions that we're making meaning of or that we think we know about him or her. The second is learning versus knowing. Be a learner, not a knower. So there's a difference between wanting to get it right versus wanting to be right. When you're coming from you need to know, if you're a knower, like I need to know the answers, needing comes from shame and trauma. So it prevents vulnerability to be able to be present. And when we think about being right, it's different for everyone. So what's right for me in my partnerships may be totally unethical or unattainable for you. So also having this unconditional understanding and curiosity towards what right is for you and every relationship in your life, whether it's your child, your employee, or your partner. The third is 4 agreements. I like to start with actually Don Miguel's, the actual book, the 4 agreements. So be impeccable with your word. Don't take anything personal. Don't make any assumptions, and always do your best. I believe that if you apply these 4 agreements and you start getting in check with how often you're not impeccable with your words, how often you're making a story up and you're taking things personally, how much you assume you know something about someone or you know about how a situation is going to pan out. And when it comes to really having an authentic, transparent relationship, how much commitment are you really putting towards doing your best, making sure that other person's needs are met or that you're meeting your own needs so that you can show up? And then the last is speak your truth, even if you're uncertain. it is so easy to get caught up doing something that don't really align with your values or your desires, but you do it because you want to be polite or avoid confrontation. Or sometimes you're just completely unaware of how you would prefer it instead. And so when we are unaware, we tend to just be a follower and go with the flow and do what we think others are expecting of us or want of us. Um, and that's where we assume. It's easy to make assumptions of how we know someone is going to feel, or if we do something, it's going to hurt them. Uh, it's a mechanism we use to completely control a situation based on a story we're telling us without even giving that person an opportunity to speak or to ask them how they really feel. And so the beautiful thing about speaking your truth, even when you're uncertain or you don't have that answer, is it saves you from feeling shame, guilt, anger, resentment, and loneliness. The answer, I don't know. I can't answer that question right now. Is better than you going with the flow and doing something against your ideals or your values. So the art of connecting is exactly what it says. It's an art. It's a practice. It's a canvas that you continually keep painting or going back to and adding things to. Every relationship is going to be different, but if you apply these 4 principles, I believe that your relationships and your connection with everyone in your life will be better. Hands down, guarantee it. Hope you find this video helpful. Again, sharing is caring. If you know someone that could benefit from it, forward it to them, share it, or have them subscribe to my page. See you next week.